Now, more than 600 people are now known to have died in Nigeria as a result of severe flooding, and meteorologists say the torrential rain is likely to continue until at least the end of November. The government there is urging the state authorities to evacuate those living in vulnerable areas as soon as possible. Wendy Urquhart reports.
In the southeastern state of Anambra, the water is thigh-deep, and the only way out is by canoe. Some locals planted yams and cassava in the hope of getting through the rainy season unscathed. Others stocked up on sandbags to keep the water out, but the sheer brute force of the floods made that impossible. Flash flooding has displaced at least 1.3 million people in Nigeria, and some 200,000 homes have been completely washed away. The water released from several dams, which was supposed to prevent excessive flooding, has made a very bad situation even worse. Humanitarian groups are providing shelter, food and clothing for those who've been affected, but there are fears that the worst is yet to come. The World Food Programme and the UN's Food and Agricultural Organization have both said that Nigeria is one of 6 countries facing a high risk of a catastrophic level of hunger. With large swathes of farmland waterlogged and crops completely destroyed, rice producers are already warning that prices could soar, not least because rice imports were banned in a bid to stimulate local production. This is the worst rainy season in Nigeria for a decade. But despite early warnings, it seems the country just wasn't prepared for the level of destruction that the rainy season has caused. Wendy Urquhart, BBC News.
Typhoon Nesat brought 120 km/h winds and driving rain to the northern Philippines on Sunday. Flash floods forced at least 900 people to evacuate their homes, and many roads are completely blocked. The storm also brought down trees and damaged houses and businesses. Typhoon Nesat is now heading for the South China Sea. Emergency warnings are still in place in parts of Australia after a massive storm dumped a month's worth of rain in Rochester, 200 kilometres north of Melbourne. More than 340 roads were closed across the state of Victoria, leaving hundreds of people stranded and thousands have no shelter. Over 3,000 people have already applied for aid, and meteorologists say more rain is on the way. On Sunday, the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese assessed the damage for himself when he travelled to the areas worst hit by the floods. He thanked the emergency services and said more personnel are being deployed immediately.
By the end of today, over 100 ADF personnel will be on the ground here in Victoria, providing support with evacuations, providing support with sandbagging, providing whatever support is required, and will continue to respond positively to further requests.